My name is Ali Kaba. I'm the president of the Union Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. We represent immigrants from all over the world, from Latinos to Europeans, Asians, Arabs, and Africans like me. 125 years ago, immigrant workers and community members gathered at this very spot, at Haymarket, to demand fair treatment and equal rights. 125 years later, we continue that fight today. I want to welcome members of the press, our elected officials behind me here, law enforcement officers, and our religious and spiritual leaders. And especially want to welcome the courageous families behind me who are here to tell their stories about the failed program called Secure Communities. Why are we here today? We are here today because the federal government broke a promise to our governor and to us, the people of Illinois. In 2009, my friends, I signed a contract with Governor Quinn to implement Secure Communities. They told the governor at the time that this program would only catch the most violent criminals. But that was a lie. We say that was a lie. The truth, yes, let's say that was a lie. That was a lie. The truth is that 78% of all those who are affected by Secure Communities are non-criminals or misdemeanor violators. That's right, Secure Communities catches the wrong people more than 3 out of 4 times. They also told the governor that this program would not cost a cent for local jurisdictions. That was a lie. That was a lie. The truth is that Secure Communities distract and divert local law enforcement resources and increases racial profiling. Governor Quinn, with the support of the General Assembly and the county sheriffs, decided enough was enough. Enough was enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough was enough and opted out of the contract with ICE. In this signed contract, it says that the governor can opt out for any reason. But now, ICE has ripped up this signed contract. They are saying they don't need the governor's permission to use our resources. We are here today to stand up for our governor and to stand up for the rule of law. We need to tell ICE that this is not Libya. This is the United States of America. And in the United States of America, you cannot rip a signed contract. We are also here today because we cannot sit by and watch families get ripped apart based on a traffic violation. This is happening every single day in our state and in every state in the country. In the last 5 years, in just Chicago region, 82,500 children have lost a parent to deportation. Shame. The same tragedy is happening in our black communities today through the prison industrial complex, and that is happening in our Latino communities and immigrant communities all across this great state of Illinois. We are separating a whole generation of kids from their parents. This punishment is cruel and unusual and will not stand for it. And we are here today, my friends, to support our law enforcement. We have 2 courageous sheriffs who have joined together in this fight. Sheriff Perez is the Democratic Sheriff of Kane County, and Sheriff Corrin is the Republican Sheriff of Lake County. Sheriff Perez and Sheriff Corrin and law enforcement officers statewide have stood up against this law because they know what we know. Secure communities makes us less secure. Secure communities makes us less secure. It drains law enforcement resources, it destroys the trust between police and communities, and it frightens the victims of violent crime into not reporting violent crime. Our sheriffs have had enough, and we are here today to support them. Finally, we are here today because ICE has come to our backyard for a hearing on secure communities. They need to hear from us. They need to hear the voices of our families torn apart. They need to hear from our elected officials. 29 elected officials have signed on to our letter, including Congressman Gutierrez, Bobby Rush, and John Shakoski. They need to hear our support for our governor and our sheriff today. After we finish our press conference, my friends, we'll all march over to the hearing together. It is my pleasure now to introduce to you someone who is no stranger to our struggle for immigrant rights here, And he is no other than our Reverend. Come on, brother. Go around the restaurant, right? Oh, I turn around here. I see Father Brandon here with us. He made it, the traffic was keeping him up.
My name is Father Brendan Curran. I'm pastor of St. Pius V Parish in Pilsen, part of hundreds of priests, sisters, religious leaders in the Catholic Church who have come together to support our sisters and brothers who are immigrants, who are marginalized, especially by programs like Secure Communities. We, every single day at our office on 19th and Ashland, receive the horror story of yet another aunt, uncle, sister, brother, child who tells us they don't know where their father is, they don't know where their mother is, they have had a license plate that has expired, they're talking about a sticker that is out of place, they're pulled over because of the color of their skin, and then the reason for them being detained by our immigration system is because they are undocumented, and what we hear called as secure communities. If you are a representative from immigration, we invite you to our community to come and listen to the stories of these families, and you'll be finding out very soon that they are insecure. They are not sleeping at night. We have a large domestic violence program, and our families are afraid to even report someone beating on their wife. This is not secure. We are here today to say, talk to us. You want to talk to officials in the state of Illinois. You want to hear from them and share with them that they must follow what you call secure communities. We are here to declare in a united voice, whether we are Christian, whether we are Muslim, whether we are Jewish, whatever our faith tradition, whether we are community organizations, we are clearly telling you that our testimony is true, real, and we present it today. We are insecure. Our communities are not secure, and we want to make sure that goes on record today. Thank you very much. We ask that you hear from us, and we pray for you, because our God believes in a community that gathers together, and this is separating us each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to call upon State Representative Greg Harris, who has been a champion of the most vulnerable in Springfield, and he was a co-sponsor of the Smart Enforcement Act that fought against secure communities. Indeed, he's been working closely with the governor and the sheriffs to make sure that we have a common sense solution to our problems. Our champion, State Representative Greg Harris.
Thank you, Ali. When the House of Representatives voted on the Illinois SMART Act, we did it for one very good reason. We realize that our communities are beset with gang violence and drug violence, that there are assaults on our streets, and that these are the crimes that we need to be devoting our criminal justice resources to. We wanted an opportunity for local law enforcement to opt out of being forced to enact a failed government policy. Here we have another policy from Washington, D.C., which has failed our state, failed our communities, failed our countries. We should not be devoting valuable resources to it. And this is not, as the Reverend said, a Latino problem, a Pilsen problem. My district is on the north side of Chicago. We have immigrants and refugees from many communities there, many of whom fled to this country because of genocide. They fled for their lives with just their children, their relatives, and not much more than the clothes on their back. They fled from the killing fields of Cambodia. They fled from the genocide in Darfur. They fled from the Srebrenica massacres in Bosnia. Many of these families came here without appropriate documentation. It is a crime that our government would now try to round up these people who fled to our country for safety and protection because they don't happen to have the right paperwork with them at a traffic stop. I'm here with my Muslim neighbors, with my Christian neighbors, with my Jewish neighbors, with all the neighbors in my community to ask that our government resources be devoted to protecting our neighborhoods and not tearing apart our families. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now we're going to call upon someone who represents the district where Cook County Jail is. He has been a great voice for social justice in Chicago, and is no stranger to our struggle here. And indeed, we all know that Cook County opted out of secure communities, but ICE is now saying that that's no, no, no. And he's here today to tell us that yes, 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 we can opt out. Commissioner Garcia.
As a member of the Board of Commissioners of Cook County, I am here to remind everyone, including President Obama, that Cook County has been declared an immigrant-friendly community that guarantees equal treatment of all people, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their occupation, their faith, their skin color, or ethnic origin. And the reason I have to underscore that is because the initiative known as Secure Communities is threatening to make our county a hostile county. And I call upon President Obama and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement bureaucracy to hear the voice of governors who have utilized common sense and rationale in saying that this program is a failure, that it is detaining innocent people, that it is detaining hard-working people and not the criminals that it has been argued it was designed to detain and to remove from this country. Given the terrific failure rate of this initiative, once again, it calls for real leadership. The leadership has to come from President Obama and the leaders of that bureaucracy. Recognize a failure, do the right thing, and end secure communities immediately. And make Cook County the friendly place it should be. Thank you.
And now we want to hear stories from our families. Moni Ruiz Velasquez is from the National Immigrant Justice Center and one of our great allies. She's here to speak briefly about the wave of cases that come through her office, tearing innocent families apart. Moni?
Good afternoon. My name is Moni Ruiz Velasco. I'm the Director of Legal Services at the Heartland Alliance's National Immigrant Justice Center, or NIJC. NIJC represents hundreds of immigrants who have been swept up in secure communities and other local enforcement programs initiated by ICE. At 6 p.m. hearing this evening, I'll be joined by my client Mario. Today we'll be calling on ICE to immediately end the flawed and erroneously named Secure Communities program, which has created a fast-track deportation system that deprives immigrants of basic justice. In just under an hour, ICE will convene a public hearing on the misguided Secure Communities program. Given the program's complete and obvious failure, talking about it is not enough. President Obama must take immediate action to make our communities secure and end this program, which is a disgrace to American ideals of fairness and justice. The Secure Communities program undermines police trust within communities, particularly among crime victims and witnesses. It encourages racial profiling, it diverts scarce local police resources, and it violates due process protections. While ICE claims to focus on serious criminal offenders, the numbers don't back that up. ICE's statistics as of February 2011 show that more than 80% of the people deported from Illinois under Secure Communities never were convicted of a serious crime. A review of our NIJC's detention cases since June shows that nearly half of our clients in ICE custody have not been convicted of a crime or have had minor traffic offenses. Many of these men and women are entitled to legal protection and could remain in the United States with their families. But because of Secure Communities, Dragnet, they are thrust into immigration proceedings and face detention and deportation without understanding their rights and without access to legal counsel. Once detained, immigrants face monumental challenges to remain in the United States. Unlike individuals incarcerated in the criminal justice system, immigrants in deportation proceedings, a majority of whom have never been convicted of a serious crime, are not provided court-appointed lawyers. They are detained in isolated jails and prisons without access to attorneys and family because phones at the facilities seldom work and the U.S. mail system is delayed. The immigration detention system, fueled by Secure Communities program, erodes immigrants' fundamental procedural protections. Typically, our clients are seeking asylum, are crime victims and domestic violence victims, or are long-term residents of the United States with extensive and established community ties. They have come here to escape persecution and abuse. They have come in search of a better life and with a willingness to contribute to our communities. Many do have legal options to remain with their families in the United States, but the U.S. immigration system has cast its net so widely that thousands of immigrants who are not serious criminal offenders are suddenly and arbitrarily entangled in the deportation net. Those who cannot find lawyers are often deported and face persecution and abuse. ICE has the authority to exercise prosecutorial discretion in favor of victims and witnesses of crimes, and for others without violent criminal records who pose no threat to the community. In a June memo, ICE Director John Morton affirmed the agency's ability to exercise this right, but since June, it has failed to do so. We continue to see and represent individuals in detention who have no criminal record or who have committed only a minor offense. The urgent need for legal representation only intensifies with the current reality of increased enforcement. President Obama, on behalf of the men, women, and communities who suffer under this program, we ask that you make our communities secure, to restore America's commitment to justice by ending the Secure Communities program.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Carolina, one of our most inspiring leaders. Even as she faces the crisis affecting her own family, she's busy helping all the other families in our neighborhood. Thank you so much, Carolina, for joining us today.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolina Rivera, and I am a leader with the Southwest Organizing Project, a member of the Coalition of Illinois and Immigrant Refugee Rights. I am here today because I want the secure communities to stop. My husband was wrongly arrested by the police. He has no criminal record. For the past 19 years, he has been here working, paying taxes, and contributing to this community. Secure Communities was designed to deport criminals, but in Illinois, the 78% of immigrants arrested by ICE under this program has no criminal convictions. My husband is now part of this 78%. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., he is leaving. He is being deported. That's why I came the day before my husband has to leave. To ask ICE, do you really need that this program is working? How many more children need to be separated from their father or their mother? How many more tears or suffering do you need to stop this program? I want to ask ICE, please stop this program now. Stop the suffering from our communities, in our families.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Carolina Rivera. Soy un líder con la Organización del Suroeste, que es un miembro de la Coalición de Inmigrantes y Refugiados. Y estoy aquí porque quiero pedirle a Inmigración que por favor paren el programa de comunidades seguras. Mi esposo fue arrestado por equivocación. Mi esposo no tiene ningún récord criminal. Mi esposo ha estado aquí 19 años trabajando, pagando impuestos y ayudando a la situación económica de este país. Comunidades Seguras fue creado para deportar a criminales pero sabemos que en Illinois el 78% de los inmigrantes que son arrestados por ICE no tienen récord criminal. Y ahora mi esposo es parte de ese 78%. Mañana a las 7 de la mañana él tiene que salir. Él está siendo deportado. Es por eso que estoy aquí, un día antes de que mi esposo se vaya. Que quiero preguntar a Inmigración que si de verdad piensan que este programa está funcionando, ¿cuántas más familias tienen que sufrir? ¿Cuántos más niños tienen que quedarse sin su mamá o sin su papá? ¿Cuánto más sufrimiento necesitan ellos para parar este programa? Por eso quiero pedirle a ellos que paren este programa, que paren de estar destruyendo familias.
My friends, secure communities is also about fear. Our next speaker is a courageous young leader who has to fight the fear of secure communities in the US, while her husband is busy in the army fighting our enemies abroad. Next speaker is Fanny Martinez. Where is Miss Martinez?
My name is Fanny and I'm undocumented. I'm coming representing the Latino Youth Action League, Immigrant Youth Action League, and Nuestra Voz. I was born in Mexico City and I came to the US 9 years ago, and I've been living here since then. We come from a low-class family, so my father was forced to immigrate to the US when he was unable to find a stable job. I was 10 years old when he left, so I miss him very much because we were very close. 2.5 years later, I crossed the border with my mother and my sister. When I arrived, I was 13 years old, and back then I had no idea what it would be to become an undocumented immigrant. I didn't even know what undocumented meant. For the past 9 years of my life, I have been living with fear and frustration every day. Since I started attending college, my fears increased because I drive to and from school 5 days a week. Unlike students who have a driver's license, I have to worry about being stopped by the police. I have to worry about getting my immigration status being reported to ICE. It's very disappointing when I realize that I'm even afraid to go to school because I know that there's a possibility that I might not make it home. I don't know about you, but I think it's unjust that youth who are trying to get an education are being arrested or deported due to the existence of programs like Secure Communities. In addition, Secure Communities affects my life, my family as well. My husband David is a veteran. He's been in the Army Reserve for 8 years and is currently flying home from Afghanistan. As a result of my immigration status, our lives have been very difficult, and even though due to his deployment, and of course, he's worried about my security and my status in the country. He knows that I'm at risk of being put on deportation proceedings anytime. I cannot believe that he has to go through this struggle, even though he has served his country and has put his life at risk for a year. The least he deserves is to have the confidence that his wife will be secure while he's gone. Unfortunately, the same country for which he's fighting is the same that might deport his wife under programs like Secure Communities. Moreover, as a Latina, I know that I'm at higher risk of being arrested since this program has been shown to have links with racial profiling. Secure Communities, as it has been said by the other speakers, doesn't make us feel safe. We're angry. We are angry. We know that 78% of those who are arrested in Illinois are not criminals. And I'm tired of hearing about relatives and people such as Carolina talking about their relatives being deported just for minor traffic violations or for any other reason that is not related to crime. Every time I think of this situation, I am terrified because I know that it only takes 1 day for Secure Communities to take away the opportunity for me to go to grad school, a graduate school, to separate me from my family and to destroy my future. My husband and I don't want to be separated. We do not want to live in fear anymore. We believe that we deserve to live with dignity. We are human beings and we demand respect and justice. Yes, we are undocumented, but we are unafraid. And I want to make that message very clear. We're undocumented and unafraid.
Thank you for that courageous statement. Our next speaker is here to represent his brother, who unfortunately cannot be here himself because he was deported last month. Jorge Avalos, thank you so much for being here.
Sí, buenas tardes, mi nombre es Jorge Ábalos y soy un líder comunitario en la organización de Interfaith Leadership Project. Y pues desafortunadamente a mi hermano también lo deportaron, fue en junio, nada más él estaba manejando, venía de su trabajo también, como cualquier persona, y pues fue detenido por la policía y desafortunadamente deportado, nada más porque a él el crimen que cometió según es que traía en el espejo, en el retrovisor, un atrapasueños que le llaman, sí, el dream catcher que le llaman, y pues aquí estoy.
His name is Jorge Avalos. He's the leader in the Interfaith Leadership Project. His brother was detained because of driving through a county that was that's supposed to be they had secure communities. He was stopped for having a dream catcher, which is a real about this big. It was hanging from his rearview mirror. He was stopped because of that, and he was put in deportation proceedings because of secure communities. So he's here representing his brother who left the country at the beginning of July.
Sí, pues yo estoy aquí también para pedir que pues lo de comunidades seguras pues se supone que es para deportar criminales y todo eso, y desafortunadamente pues es mucha gente trabajadora que pagan sus taxas y que están con su familia y todo está bien, pero desafortunadamente pues el programa como que está equivocado, están deportando mucha gente inocente.
So I'm here to ask that secure communities be stopped. It's deporting good people like his brother. It's supposed to be deporting criminals, not good working people that pay taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. We have two more brief testimonies. They are very painful to listen to, but we must share these stories with all of you. Now I'm going to call upon Roberto and Susana to be here to share their stories. Roberto?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Roberto Procopio. Yo salí a trabajar. Yo salí a trabajar el sábado, este sábado que pasó. Salí a trabajar a las 4 de la mañana y regresaba a mi casa como a las 10:30. Y en el tollway del 88 yo pagué mi caseta. Y cuando estaba poniendo mi cambio en el carro, un oficial me dijo que me orillara y me pidió licencia. Y yo no tengo licencia. Y yo caí en el Wheaton y en el condado de DuPage me mandaron hacia migración.
He is sharing that he was stopped on Saturday on I-88 in DuPage County, and he was paying his toll. And the person who is the attendant at that toll booth asked him for his driver's license. He said that he did not have a driver's license. They called the police. The county officials called immigration, and the process begins.
Yo pregunté al oficial que cuál había sido mi falta, por qué él me había hecho eso, y nunca me respondió nada.
He asked the official why he was detaining him, and the official refused to comment.
Ahora estoy aquí con el Padre José, con la iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Salvación, de Guadalupe, perdón, que me han estado apoyando en esto y ahorita no sé lo que vaya a pasar porque viene mi corte, no sé qué vaya a pasar.
He is here, part of a member of the Our Lady of Guadalupe Church with Father Jose on his side, and he is not certain as to what he can do now.
Says, thank you so much for that testimony. Thank you, Roberto. Yeah, Susana.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Susana Chinchilla. Yo iba manejando hacia la farmacia a recoger medicina para mi niño y fui detenida por un policía que me dijo que no había hecho un stop. Y yo le dije que sí lo había hecho. Entonces él me dijo...
Her name is Susana. She was on her way to obtain medicine for her child at the pharmacy, and an officer stopped her and told her that she had passed a stop sign. She said that she did not pass a stop sign.
Entonces me dijo, está bien, lo hiciste, pero entonces dame tu licencia y aseguranza.
And so the officer said that yes, okay, it's all right. If you made a stop, now show me your license and your insurance.
Donde vio que yo le dije de que me dejara ir, por favor, que era por ir a traer la medicina de mi niño, me dijo de que no, que iba a ir a checar en la computadora si yo tenía problemas migratorios.
So the officer said that she asked that if she could be let go. She was simply trying to get medicine for her child that she is carrying here today. And the officer said that they needed to run her name and information through the immigration system to make sure that she was not an offense to our country.
Y entonces me dijo de que no, que me iba a reportar con migración.
The officer then explained to her that she was going to be reported to immigration.
Y lo peor del caso es que yo soy de South Halland. Según ahí es santuario de inmigrantes y pertenece al condado de Cook.
The sad thing about it that she's explaining is that she lives in South Holland in a county that supposedly is not part of secure communities, and she does not understand why she received this kind of treatment.
Por esto yo estoy aquí para pedir que por favor pues no me deporten y no me separen de mi hijo porque ya me llegó la carta que yo tengo que salir el 31 de agosto.
She is here today because she is pleading for her future here in this country. She has received a letter that notifies her that she must leave the country on the 31st of this month.
Y también para que paren lo que es el proyecto de comunidades seguras, porque según también eso es para deportar los que tienen récord criminal. Y yo no tengo ningún récord criminal. A mí me pueden checar donde quieran y que me digan a ver yo cuántos he matado o cuántos problemas he tenido o si me han agarrado borracha o algo y no.
Susana is explaining that she has no criminal offense in her previous record. She willingly offers authorities to review her history here. She was simply trying to recover medicine for the health of her son, and she does not understand why we would choose a policy of this sort in a country that believes in dreams. Gracias, Susana.
Thank you so much, Susana. And finally, I'm going to call upon Leslie Combs from Representative John Shakowski's office to read our letter to ICE Director John Martin. This statement was authored by a unified group of legislators and law enforcement, Republicans and Democrats. Republican Lake County Sheriff Mark Curran, Democratic Kane County Sheriff Patrick Perez authored this statement with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights and with 4 U.S. Congress members, Gutierrez, Davis, Rush, and John Shakowski. In total, we have 26 elected officials on this letter and 35 more organizations, business leaders, labor leaders, and faith leaders. It tells how we are here today to support our law enforcement and support our families. Leslie?
Thank you. Dear Director Morton, we, the undersigned elected officials, law enforcement officers, and community leaders write to strongly disapprove of your agency's announcement on Friday, August 5th regarding the, quote, Secure Communities, unquote, program. On that date, your agency unilaterally terminated all existing memoranda of agreement with states that participated in the program, including Illinois. In doing so, ICE rejected Governor Pat Quinn's formal request to opt out of this broken program. This decision by your agency shows appalling disrespect for our governor and the people of our state. Governor Quinn recognized the deep flaws within secure communities. In his termination notice of May 4th, he argued that even though this program had been targeted against individuals with serious criminal convictions, a disproportionate number of people deported under this program had no criminal convictions whatsoever. Rather than making us safer, secure communities makes us less safe, eroding public trust with police and diverting limited police resources to detain non-criminals. Based on this conflict between the program's stated goals and its actual results, Governor Quinn exercised our state's right under the memorandum to withdraw the state from the program. Rather than address the flaws raised by Governor Quinn, your agency disregarded those concerns and has now undercut a signed agreement with our state and with every other state nationwide, making the Secure Communities program compulsory. The latest announcement came while the DHS Task Force on Secure Communities was still meeting to decide what to do about the state memorandum of understanding and the program as a whole. With this announcement, ICE has demonstrated its own bad faith toward the law enforcement and community members serving on the task force and has called into question how serious it could ever be in hearing the concerns of the community or fixing the program. We call on you to immediately halt the Secure Communities program and work to reshape enforcement policies so that they respect local law enforcement, immigrant families, and the will of our government and our people.
So finally, my friends, we are going to peacefully march so that the ICE folks will hear from our communities today. Again, this is a great effort of our unified communities of Latinos, Europeans, Africans, Asians, all of us working together with different faith communities, believing that secure communities is making us insecure and it must be ended now. Thank you.
Obama, you can stop the deportation. Obama!